Hey there, this is Dan. So I'm really excited to tell you that the third season of Headlong has launched and it's out right now. First, there was Missing Richard Simmons, then there was Surviving Y2K, and now this third season is called Running from Cops. It's an investigation into the reality show Cops. We recorded 105 interviews. We watched and analyzed 846 episodes of Cops. It's really different, and we're really proud of it. I'm going to play the first few minutes here, but you should know that the new season actually won't be in this feed that you're currently listening on. It'll be in a new one called Running from Cops. Still free, still public, still same team, still Henry, but this one is in a new feed. So go search for that and subscribe right now. This season of Running from Cops contains some pretty rough scenes of policing on television, as well as audio of people in distressing situations which you might find upsetting. There's also a fair amount of bad language. Thanks for listening. Episode 1. The One-Celled Amoeba. I'm going to begin this story at the end of it, or almost the end, here in Spokane, Washington, where my producer Henry and I are in hour 3 of a Marathon City Council meeting.
I'm going to talk about the rumored tax increase on firearms and ammunition.
Jealous much? Some might say local government meetings are boring and really long.
I've been waffling on what I was going to speak on. I had several issues. I would just like to read.
On the other hand, some say they're really long and boring.
It's the 10 Commandments have been taken out of our laws. We have laws in the 10. We have the Constitution.
But this one is about to get good, because the debate we are here for is up next on the docket.
Go to C35593.
Ordinance C-35593 relating to reality-based police show program filming, enacting a new Chapter 10.56 to the Spokane Municipal Code.
Let me translate. They are about to vote on whether or not to effectively kick the reality show Cops out of Spokane. In other words, after 8 seasons of Cops cameras in town shooting this...
You are under arrest. Do you understand?
For what?
For failing to stop when signaled by the police.
And this...
I was not naked.
I don't think that's really up for debate.
And this...
Get down on the ground! I'm gonna hurt you, buddy!
Some Spokanites are wondering if their police and those cameras should be working together at all.
So I want to reiterate, I just want to finish by reiterating what...
The crackdown on shows like Cops was Council President Ben Stuckert's baby. That's him. He thought the vote would be a piece of cake. Who's going to miss Cops?
This is the strangest piece of legislation that I've ever worked on.
He was wrong.
I have never, ever drawn the Twitter ire of reality show watchers across the entire country. But I guess there's a first time for everything. So let me be clear. Cops is a television show. It's not law enforcement. Filming somebody where you make a profit is not a right.
Right now you might be thinking to yourself, Cops. Is that show still even on? You have no idea.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Cops has been on television for 3 decades. There have been over 30 seasons, over 1,000 episodes, with a new one premiering each week still. Cops is one of the longest-running primetime shows in the history of television, scripted or unscripted. Longer than The Simpsons, Law & Order, all of them. The format couldn't be simpler. Follow real police officers interacting with, and usually arresting, real citizens.
Stop! Right there! Stop!
In fact, Cops was arguably the first real reality show. It premiered 3 years before The Real World.
Don't move! Don't move! Stay on the ground! Stay on the ground!
And 15 years before The Apprentice, the show that reimagined Donald Trump as the definition of success.
Why are you trying to climb out of the house for?
Huh? Man, I see you pulling over people and all this crazy.
Now, 30 years after its birth, Cops is the great-great-grandmother of reality TV. Just sitting there, rocking back and forth, and the whole family wondering, how is she still alive? But that's Grandma's big secret. Not only is she alive, she's everywhere. Consider this. Cops still airs a new show every week, but it's also in syndication on cable, where it reruns in blocks, episode after episode after episode. On some days, it is on 16, sometimes 20 times. It was on 70 times in one recent week. A constant drumbeat about policing in America. Something else to consider? These guys.
We're gonna go check that out and see what's going on.
I found this video on YouTube. It was made pretty recently. It's two kids who recorded themselves playing cops. Not cops and robbers, but cops.
Oh, there's the suspect right there. We're gonna chase him down.
They're maybe 10, 11. They're in a big field in the country. One kid is driving around in an ATV, that's his cop car, and he's chasing his buddy, who is the suspect.
Get down on the ground!
Mimicking perfectly the language and the cadence and the tactics of the police on a show that was launched before these kids were even born.
Get down on the ground now!
In fact, these kids were born around season 19 of Cops.
So, why were you running tonight? Huh? Why are we running?
So whatever message Cops is sending...
On your knees. Hey! Stop resisting!
Message received. And I don't want to make it all horror movie creepy, but...
Bad boy, what you going to do?
Just Google kids singing the Cops theme song. You'll lose your mind. Here, in Spokane, one of over 150 cities whose police departments have worked with the show, some in this community have had enough.
This cycle, this parade of people of color, people with disabilities, people in poverty, is not something our community needs.
I believe it is wrong to present as entertainment the actions of people who may be having the worst day of their lives.
And others, they want more of what they see as the truth of what their police have to deal with every day.
The shows do justice to our law enforcement officers. These gentlemen are under fire.
Show the people what we are. Don't be afraid of the cameras. I'm not.
Now, I don't like to brag, but I have watched a lot of Cops in my day. Way before this project started, it's why I'm so interested. Ballpark, I've seen maybe 500 episodes, no judgments, please. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. It's certainly not a classy one. I've always watched Cops with two minds. Half my brain is captivated. It's cheap thrills, and it's a look at a world you don't see a lot of on television. But the other half of my brain, the gears are turning. How are they allowed to do this? To turn policing, something that couldn't be more serious, into entertainment? I'm always looking to see the seams of it, the cut and paste, and trying to figure out just how real is what we're watching here. Over the past 18 months, we investigated Cops. We meet the people who make it.
Cops is just what it is. You can't question it. It is what it is.
We talk to the officers who've been on the show.
I went from having 5 guys to 25 guys overnight, arresting 6, 7, 8 guys a month to arresting over 300 people a month. I mean, it was crazy.
We tracked down the suspects who had their worst moments broadcast for everyone to see.
It's only one-sided. They see one side. So all they see is that their taxpayers' money is going to pay to rescue some junkie that they probably think in their head isn't worth the shit.
We break down the policing you see on Cops, repeated over and over.
Put your arms out. Oh, my. Put your arms out. Okay.
You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. That one right there is abhorrent.
And we go back to Spokane, because they are not just upset about Cops. The cameras from a new policing reality show have shown up that's even more extreme, and that you might know nothing about, but it was the most DVR'd show of 2018, so someone's watching.
They came to my mom's house with the dog, with the cameras, beating down the door at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm some pistol-toting, dope-dealing, assault rifle-carrying, badass bitch.
Over the next 6 episodes, we are going to do for a dumb reality show what I think maybe we should have been doing all along. We are going to take Cops seriously. I'm Dan Taberski, and this is Headlong, Season 3, Running from Cops. So this is where the rest of the podcast goes, but you can't hear it here. You gotta go to the new feed. Go search Running from Cops, subscribe, and you can hear the rest of this episode and the rest of the season, and we really hope you like it. Thanks.